Hi, welcome to Secure Video Conference. Today I'm going to tour you around the meeting room setup portion of your host account with Secure Video Conference. All right, invite guests. This is where you'll put their email address separated by commas if you're inviting more than one guest, and of course your personalized message. The address book. This will show any guests that you've invited in the past who still have valid guest accounts, and you can actually invite directly from the address book. The meeting room color. This is where you can personalize the colors in the conference room. Currently they're defaulted to a light blue, but you can change it to whatever color you want. If you have the hexadecimal color number for your brand or the color you prefer to use, you can also just type that directly into here. Selecting a language. We offer 9 different languages for the text information within the conference room to be translated into. Currently the default is set for English. Lock layout. As you'll note, I've actually moved the pods, the attendees pod, the chat, and the notes over to the right-hand side and the share desktop to the left. Once you've done that, you can actually click Lock Layout, and now when your guests log in, this is the way that they see their conference room. Can always unlock the layout by choosing meeting room setup and unlock layout right here if you want to be able to move them around differently. Conference logging. This is an archive that's kept in your host control panel of any time that you or a guest have logged in and out of the conference room and how long that conference may have taken. So if you would like to keep an archive of that information, you can turn that logging on here. Meeting room turned off and on. This is an opportunity for you if you've got a 3-seat room, let's say, and you need to meet with just one person privately before meeting with the bigger group. You can always turn your meeting room off once you and your guest are logged in, which prevents anyone else from logging in during that time. Just make sure you turn your meeting room back on before your next meeting. Clear meeting room chat. Over in this pod, the chat pod, anything that gets typed into here, any messages or notes between you and your guests, can be cleared by clicking Clear Meeting Room Chat. Of course, we recommend you do this prior to each meeting. Sound configuration. Each time you have a guest log in and out of the conference room, a sound will be transmitted to you, letting you know that they have done so. Chat notification is, if this is turned on, this will transmit an audible sound to you anytime someone places a note in the chat box, which is great when you're in the middle of presentation and they have a question. The menu bar for guests. When your guests log in, they see this menu bar across the top. If you've chosen for them not to see the menu bar, of course, it'll be blank across the top. End meeting. End meeting allows for you to set what happens when you click End Meeting in the Meeting Tools drop-down box. Your guests can be redirected to a URL. They can see a thank you message from you. It's a great way to move them on to the next step after your meeting. Your host control panel. From the meeting room setup drop-down menu, you can access your host control panel where you can customize and access other features. One more thing I want to show you is the guest rights. At the bottom here, you'll note that you have a drop-down box for guest rights. At the top, you'll see all guests. This is the box in which you can choose all of the guest rights that your guests will have by default when they log into the conference room. If you don't have anything checked off in here, that means your guests can simply hear you and see video and whatever else you're presenting in your conference room. You can choose any combination that you would like here. Individual guest rights are determined by clicking on the guest's name, and the side pop-up will come up, and you can choose whatever rights you would like that individual guest to have. So for example, if you have a guest speaker with you today in your conference room, you can choose to give the guest speaker live video rights without giving all of your guests live video rights. Excellent. That concludes our tour for today. I appreciate you taking the time.